Yo, what's going on, everybody? Phil Cape here, back with another YouTube video, and we have a Chicago Bulls video today. So I was, normal day listening to things at work, YouTube, and I came across this video on the Locked On Bulls podcast. And let me tell you, Locked On, you guys need to drop these fools immediately because these guys are just absolute clowns, and it's an absolute disrespect to the Locked On brand. Which I know people like Isaac Shade from the Tar Heels podcast there. Class act. These guys, absolute clowns. But no, let's get into the video. So on their podcast or YouTube, whatever, I don't know what to call it. Anyways, they said the Bulls. They said something like the Bulls should trade one of Josh Giddey or Coby White. Who would they trade? And they were all in agreement, basically, that it should be Coby White. And they called him a role player, which is super disrespectful to what Coby White has accomplished so far last year and overall in his NBA career, because he's not a role player at all. Role players don't average 24 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists. They're not back-to-back player of the weeks, and they definitely don't win player of the months. No role player's ever done that, outside of maybe T.J. Warren in the bubble. That's probably it. So just a super slap in the face to Coby White right there. Our obvious best player right now is Coby White. He's the one who led the charge, along with Giddey. Giddey was a huge supporting role, but he's a support player. Who's Giddey going to pass the ball to? Seriously. Who's he going to pass the ball to? That's a serious question. So let me know on that, because if you're not passing to Coby White, I mean, this team is going to be dog shit awful. Like, I know, like, sometimes, like, yeah, we're trying to get worse to get better. Like, I get all that, but you don't trade a, 24 years old player who probably hasn't hit his prime. He's progressed every single year. Should have won MIP last year over Ja Morant. That was a huge scam there. Definitely should have won that. Everyone knows that. And then this year, after Zach was traded, when they finally get rid of all the dead weight, they still got Vooch, but he was out for a lot of that stretch, if you don't remember. So it was basically Coby, Giddey, Montaz, and a lot of Zach Collins, Trey Jones for a while, and Kevin Huerter was a big part of that comeback, last year for the push into the play-in, which most Bulls fans joked and was like, "Oh yeah, right, AK. You think we can actually make the play-in without Zach LaVine?" Yeah, right. Yeah, it looks like he was right on that as well. That if players progressed, like he said, then they would obviously have a chance for the play-in. And they did. They went to the play-in, and obviously we didn't make the playoffs. And the goal is not to make the play-in. I get it. Trust me. The goal is to win the NBA championship. And the best way to win an NBA championship is to acquire draft picks. But the best way to win an NBA championship is also keeping your best players that you have that are young and on the very, very, very. It might be the best contract in the NBA right now with this production. Sorry about that. My son came in. I had to pause it for a minute. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's just where we're at. So we need to keep Coby, and we need to keep Josh Giddey. We need to keep Matas Buzelis. I guess I may have butchered that, but that's how I call him. I call him Matas. Anyways, so those are the only 3 we really need to keep around. Everyone else, Vooch especially, should be gone by this offseason. Lonzo's a good trade piece. I think guys like Kevin Huerter and, possibly a sign and trade with trade, there's plenty of opportunities to get draft picks. And they were like floating the idea of Coby White for like a late first round pick in this year's draft. And then they called everyone available in the draft a role player. So you want to trade a productive role player for different role players that there's a 99% chance won't be as good as Coby White. Like, where's the logic? Come on, Locked On Bulls. There's no logic there. Absolutely no logic Zero logic, sir. So that was just a horrible take. I mean, if some team was going to give you 3+ first round picks for Coby White, you're going to start listening. I don't think 2 gets it done from a team that's going to want Coby White because they're going to be mid to late first round picks. The odds of hitting a player to be as good as Coby White with a mid to late first round pick is pretty low. It's pretty low. It's probably less than 5% chance. And you see the Bulls' track record of drafting. It's not bad, but it's not good. Most people that say Patrick Williams is a bust. Draft class was pretty bad, so I like the swing there. Lauri Markkanen was solid. They draft a lot of solid players. They generally don't get a Derrick Rose, for example. They generally don't get that. They get a lot of Taj Gibsons. Players like that, solid NBA players. That's generally who the Bulls get from the draft. And those are fine players. You can build a whole roster full of fine players. But you need those upper echelon players like a Coby White, maybe like a Josh Giddey, and Matas. And from some of the reports that I'm hearing from other people, and maybe Locked On had mentioned it as well, I don't know. But a lot of belief in Matas being that guy, that he could be the Giannis Antetokounmpo, that he could be the LeBron James, maybe not LeBron, but a player of that caliber that can lead an NBA team to the promised land. And Coby can be a 2, he can be a 3, very well. And Giddey could be, they can all be a part of that. And they're going to need more help. They got the 12th pick this year thanks to the Zach LaVine trade. But you gotta keep what you have. If you trade White, you're gonna go 10 steps backwards, and it's gonna take 3, 4, 5 years to even get back to where we are today. It just doesn't make sense. Like I said, if you can get 3 first-round picks, some kind of Mikal Bridges trade, obviously take them on their deal. We'll take the draft picks and we'll move on. But Coby White for 1 first rounder and some filler, that's a non-starter. I literally couldn't even listen to it past 2 minutes and 30 seconds into their video. It was that bad. Oh, by the way, this is my Jordan cut out here. I needed something. I have a lot of remodeling going on in my basement, so just kind of blocking some of the nonsense there. But yeah, that's a official 1987 Michael Jordan size up there, so that's pretty cool. I got a lot of cool stuff. Hopefully I can get this room nice set up one day, but I'm not too worried about it. I got a lot of other things going on with kids and stuff like that. It's not a priority. YouTube is not a priority for me. This is just a fucking joke. Yes, I make a little money here and there, whatever, but it's just a fucking joke to me. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Should the Bulls trade Coby White? And then should they trade him for a mid to late first round pick in this year's draft? Absolutely not. But let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys think on all this. Go over to the Locked On Bulls podcast there and check them out. Check out that video and tell them how dumb they are, please, for me. I much appreciate it. We're out of here, guys.